Okay, here we are in the second video of lesson 3, and we're going to be talking about diagonals and symmetry. And I'm going to be showing it to you on the presentation slide. So let's just get that open right now. And we're going to be on slide 18. Almost there. 18. Okay. And once again, we have a Geometry World animation for us. What is a diagonal of a quadrilateral? That is the line segment that goes from one vertex to the opposite vertex. Okay, remember vertex is a corner, so it's connecting those two vertices diagonally. Let's look at the special properties of diagonals of a parallelogram. Okay. First, we need to make sure that we have a parallelogram. It's a little challenging to, I'm not sure why they don't just have it for us already as a parallelogram. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, we'll make it a trapezoid first. And then we need to get the opposite sides parallel to make it a parallelogram. Oh, we can't move that one. Oh, I think it was already there, right there. Okay, there we go. So we're going to mark it always a parallelogram. So we have it always a parallelogram. And we're looking at the diagonal. Okay. And those are line segments that connect the opposite vertices, right? Now, what do you notice about those? What do you notice about the lengths of those? And since this is set on always parallelogram, okay, we can look at a couple different parallelograms and keep looking at those diagonals and see what you notice. Okay. One diagonal can be longer than the other, depending on how, see, like that. So they're not always the same size, right? But what we do notice is that each diagonal splits the other one in half, and they intersect at their midpoint. Okay, so here's another word. Midpoint is the point on a line segment that divides the line segment into two line segments of equal length. In other words, this green line segment is cut in half at the midpoint. The blue line segment is cut in half at the midpoint. Okay, so let's just look at a couple more, and you can see that they're both being cut in half at the midpoint. Yeah, okay. I don't know what's going to happen when we animate it. It's just going to show us the two halves, purple and blue, and the two halves, green and orange. And let's just try another one different and fly it back. And then we'll animate it, and it'll show us then the midpoints are the same. Okay. Does this statement describe a property of parallelograms? The diagonals of parallelograms intersect at their midpoints. Is that a property? Yes, because it applies to all parallelograms. Do diagonals of trapezoids intersect at their midpoints? Not always. It depends on the trapezoid, right? So that would be an attribute of that trapezoid, not all trapezoids. Having diagonals that intersect at their midpoints is a property of parallelograms because it's true for all parallelograms. It's not a property of trapezoids because it's not true for all trapezoids. Are diagonals of parallelograms the same length? Not necessarily. But if the parallelogram is a rectangle, then yes, you can see here they are the same length. There we go. And if it is a square, See if I can make it a square. There we go. Okay. Then the diagonals would be the same length, but only in those cases, right? Okay. So now you're going to take the parallelogram that you made and you're going to cut it out. And we're going to look for lines of symmetry. Okay. So if you don't cut as fast as I do, you might have to pause the video. I'm going to cut mine out pretty quickly. And we're going to look for lines of symmetry. Now, what are lines of symmetry? It's when you can fold it exactly in half, right? You can cut it in half, and it's the same on both sides, right? It's symmetrical, okay? So let's see. Is my parallelogram symmetrical? Oh, not really, right? It looks like it would be, okay? But when I fold it in half, it doesn't exactly line up. And I'm not sure if you can see that. See the edge over top? Yeah, it's not exact. All right. So can we say that it is a property of parallelograms to have at least one line of symmetry? Not all parallelograms are going to have a line of symmetry. Okay. So it's not a property. It would be an attribute of that particular parallelogram, right? So this one, this square could have a line of symmetry. But if we look at something like this, right? If we fold it over, cut it in half, it's not going to have a line of symmetry. Okay? And thanks for working so hard. I will see you in the next video. Let's watch some more of those funny animals and babies.
Nope.
Easy. Aww, so scared.
Okay, we're going to stop there. I'll see you in the next video.